Nothing there.
No, I can't find it.
All right. I reviewed this movie before, but it may have been on a channel that got deleted due to harassment. Um, and just needing a clean slate. So let us grab Mr. Microphone, situate it between the two of us so it doesn't look like a phallic symbol sitting in my lap, which it does, and now you're not going to be able to get that out of your brain.
Oh, that's what people wanted. That's nice.
No,
I'm not the one that said it. You are.
you're the one that's egging them on. Anyways, we watched It Follows, and I've been with Yvonne since September of 2016, and I waited for a good night to watch it. There's no
Apparently
hockey
it
on.
was tonight.
There's no hockey on, and I figured, you know what, we're doing good, and it's a nice, quiet, set Sunday evening of sorts once the kids shut up and go to bed.
Oh my goodness.
But that being said, what did you think of It Follows?
Um, as a horror movie goes, it wasn't too bad, but there was definitely the stereotypical stupid girl in a horror movie.
She does make some dumb decisions.
No, there's something chasing me. Let me run upstairs.
Yeah. And that's mentioned in the movie Scream. There's always the dumb girl who's going upstairs instead of out the
Yes.
front door.
Yeah, she ran
And
upstairs and
and
let me go into a shed that I can escape from.
the girl at the start of the movie at least runs outside the house and then goes back in for the car keys after whatever the unseen entity is comes out after. So if you've never seen It Follows, you're missing out. And I know there's a lot of people that say that it's slow and there's no gore and it's stupid. And for me, it's the kind of horror movie that I wish more horror movies were. Don't rely on jump scares. It's cheap and it's not scary. Something jumping at the screen is not scary. It's startling.
I don't like jump scares.
Being
They're
startled is
obnoxious.
not being scared. Being scared is, oh my god, don't open the door. Don't open it. Stop. What
There
are
were
you
a few
doing?
times. No,
Stop.
what is she doing? Oh my gosh, she's stupid. Shannon.
Like there's a part where the door gets blown half off, and she's like
She
crawling
crawls
towards,
near the hole
knowing
to
this
see
demon
if
thing's
it's
chasing
out
her,
the hole.
because it was out
Oh,
there
of
like
course it's
2 seconds
there.
earlier.
Yeah.
So
You shut the door because it was out there.
the one thing
Girls
too,
are stupid in
one thing
movies.
too I like in this movie is that it kind of dicks with her. It plays with it. I have a funny feeling that of its targeted victims, she's probably the most spirited. She's probably the one that gives it the hardest time. So it probably maybe begrudgingly respects it. But either way, when they're driving away from the house and there's that naked man on top of
That
the
was
house,
weird. But it
why
wasn't.
would the demon stand on top of the house?
But it wasn't after her at that point, right?
Yep.
Was
Oh,
it
it was.
actually?
Yep.
Yeah. Why was it on the roof? How did it get up the roof?
And that's what we
What is
don't
the
know.
purpose?
We never. I don't think you ever see its true form either, because
Right,
when
'cause it
he
just
when he
switches every time
smacks
we can't
the
see it.
nerd boy and launches him through the air, nerd boy's got this huge scratch on his side like he got clawed.
Yeah.
So what I like in this movie is it never shows you what this thing is or tells you how it started. I have a necrophilia theory about how it started, but we never find out. And the beauty of this movie is, and I can say this now because it's been a few years, no sequels. Stop ruining good horror movies with sequels and remakes and crap. Seriously.
I know.
This for me is a movie that I give it a solid probably 9 out of 10. There are a couple of slow points in it, and there are a couple of times where you're like, wait, why are they doing this? Why? Or
I
like
said that at the pool scene.
there's a part
Why
where,
would they think this would work?
and I don't want to ruin this for people who haven't seen it, but there's a part where she's in a car crash, and all I could think the first time I watched it was, well, it's got her, because it's not that far
Yes.
away.
Right.
And then she wakes up in the hospital. I'm like, wait, how did she get there? How did her friends get? Was the car okay? It
I know,
should
that's
be
what I
because
thought.
it's in a cornfield.
But the truck was right there.
Yeah.
So she swerved to miss the truck.
So
So
did
the
the
guy
guy
from
from
the
the-
truck there could have.
did he take her to the hospital? And
Very
how
well
did they
could
get?
have.
Like, there's things in this, and then I wonder too. There's certain parts where it's behind a person, or it's next to a person, and I'm like, so what does it do? Does it just
Well,
stand there
that's
and
what I
tap
said.
its
Did it
foot and
go-
wait?
Well, and sometimes when it's coming towards buildings, like when it was at the school, you see it walking straight forward. There's not a door there. Would it break a window in a public building? Would it? But
Does it
then,
wait for somebody else to
but when it
open the
was the old
door?
lady, you see it round a corner.
Yeah. Yeah.
So why is it walking? And it had to go through doorways in a house, and it
Yeah.
knocks on doors, and if
Yeah.
door doesn't open, it breaks windows. Yet it
And it's
walks
shown to
straight
be
towards probably
superhuman
towards the front
strong, and yet
doors.
it just stands there and knocks at the one kid's door
Right.
and waits for him to open it, even though it's been shown that it has superhuman strength. It's kind of weird. Maybe it forgets it as super. It's like the Jedi in the prequels. They remember they can run really fast in Phantom Menace, but they never do it again, and it's never mentioned again. It's almost as if they wrote themselves into a corner and couldn't figure out how to get them out of it. So all of a sudden, Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon, they can run super fast. I don't know. I want today over with. Okay? They run at Mach speed. George, that's stupid. My movie, my Star Wars, shut up. It's stupid. And in this movie, that thing is sometimes it's superhuman and sometimes it seems like it isn't, and it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
But it standing on the roof is really strange.
That was same with the pool thing. The whole pool thing was weird.
The pool thing's hilarious
The
because
whole
you're
thing.
giving it weapons. And I remember the first time I watched this, I'm
But
like,
what
wait.
was their idea? What was the thought process
The
there?
thought process is you knock it in the water and you electrocute it. And
But
right away they
she's
find out it doesn't
in the-
work.
She's in the pool.
She's in the pool as
That's
bait.
why when
She's in the pool as
they
bait.
put the
Right.
That's why at first I thought she was gonna be in like a rubber floaty, and then I was thinking, have they tested that this like won't absorb the electricity? No,
Or just
she's
throw the
swimming.
breaker.
She's just swimming. Well, that's also what I said, that they realize that just the more things you have plugged in doesn't mean the more electricity is gonna go in the water, because they're probably all on the same.
I've always had a dream in my brain, and this is non-hockey related, of course, even though I'm known as the hockey guy and whatnot. But this is on my Entertainment Guy channel. I've always wanted to make my own horror movie.
I know.
I've always thought if I had like $5,000 and a couple of weekends at a nice house in a nice area, and you just tell me.
We talked about this once. I think it was like in one of the first movie reviews we did. You talked about how you wanted to do a horror
I think I could make a
movie,
really good horror movie because I've seen so many of them, and I
Right.
know what I don't like. I don't like the torture
girls
crap.
running upstairs.
No, there wouldn't be any girls running upstairs. There wouldn't be any stupid girls either. There'd be
There's a
nice
lot of
looking
stupid-
girls in it, but they'd be smart, nice looking
course.
girls, and
Girls
they'd be
are always
nice looking
stupid
guys
movie.
too. You could do the casting for the dudes. They could all look like Legolas. You just have a bunch of elves prancing around the set. She likes the pretty boys. Don't ask how this
Yeah.
happened. Come to think of it, I don't know.
We don't need to.
I don't think you've dated a
Hang
pretty
on.
boy when I think about it.
Okay, you've only met my husband.
No, I'm just saying, but going based on conversations we've had, I don't think you've dated an actual, like, pretty boy. I know I haven't.
You haven't dated any pretty boys?
No. I haven't dated a tom girl either. I meant tomboy, but I changed it to girl because we're talking about boys. You know, tomboy. I always thought tomboys were cute, though. Like when I was in school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was never a tomboy.
I was always strange that way though. I've always been more attracted to a woman the more clothes she has on. Like going back to our Percy Jackson review, I think Alexandra looks better wearing jeans and a regular shirt and like regular clothes than she does in a bikini in the Baywatch posters and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but they don't make those posters because guys don't want that. The more you can see, the better. I think mystery is good. And in this movie, there's a lot. This girl has sex how many times, and she never takes her shirt off. She's wearing
Or
a bra
pants,
the first time.
for that matter.
She's wearing a bra the first time.
Wait a second.
and
Weren't
she's
they
in the.
both fully clothed? Wait,
There's-
how?
There's a sex scene where he gets into the bed
With pants on.
and neither of them move
and
their
it's like
clothes at all.
seconds later, and they're doing their thing, and I.
So I'm picturing
Wait
at
a
that point, like,
second.
is he Kal-El? Can he just rip through human clothing? Like, because I'm pretty sure they're not actually doing anything.
Yeah, you think?
Like, I get that it's simulated in movies. It's
But
not
they had
really
their
happening,
pants
but
on.
they were clothed.
And there wasn't a cutaway. It was just like he gets in under the
It's in the
blankets and
basin.
starts
Yeah, starts the motions.
with
It's like,
their pants on.
nope. And I never noticed that the first two times I see that, and now
You're
I notice because I'm with
welcome.
you.
You're welcome.
I notice all these little details in the movie because you and I are together. I still give the movie a
What's
9.
that? What's
I think
that?
the movie's
What's
great.
that mean? What do you mean?
I mean, like when you're watching a movie and you get lost in it.
Oh, okay. I point out all the stupid stuff in
So
movies. There
so
you go.
the minor flaws. Well, it's
Like
everything,
rebar,
not like everything wrong with. And I have to
machetes in
say,
kitchens.
the Everything Wrong With series I was big on, but I watched a video where the guy discussed what's wrong with the Everything Wrong With series, and I don't watch those anymore. There are times where I think that movies get picked apart so much you destroy the enjoyment of them,
Yeah.
and it's funny because I can pick apart any movie I've seen the same way.
Mhm.
I can pick apart logical problems with
Well, and
anything.
sometimes when they do the what's wrong with, they're kind of missing things. It's not always
And
something right out.
if you
Like there's a
watch,
lot of those on Disney movies, and
yeah,
sometimes I'm just like,
if
that's
you watch the
stupid. That's
and,
not
and
something wrong
the
with
reason
it.
I bring that up is because they have an Everything Wrong With It Follows, and I watched that, and that was the first Everything Wrong With I've watched where I went, wait, you guys are framing that wrong. No, 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 that's
Right.
you're taking that out of context. That's out of context. That's so it's 15 minutes of them pulling the movie apart, and yet every logical error they're finding with it isn't a logical error if you've watched the whole movie and if you've paid attention. And the problem with it is that there are people who base whether or not they're going to see a movie
Right.
on what channels like this say on YouTube.
Right.
So they're directly affecting the people who made the movie, people who starred in the movie, being able to recoup whatever they've invested in it through tearing a movie apart. And like Rogue One's another one. If I showed you everything wrong with Rogue One, it would give you a headache because the Rogue One stuff is just it's just wrong. It's just wrong.
Mm.
And there's so many things I see them doing, and I'm like, no, no. And there's some stuff that they say that's funny, but a lot of it is no. And with this movie, it's a no.
Yeah.
This movie is very well shot. The beautiful thing with this movie is no gore, great cinematography, great. They pay attention to the woods. They pay attention to every flower. They pay attention to. There's a scene where she's putting petals of grass on her leg, and you can see the goosebumps on her legs. Just all of those details are so fantastic because horror movies now are all either about let's get to somebody's fingers getting cut off, let's get to the gore, or more jump scares. It's been 10 minutes. We got to throw in another jump scare.
Yeah, I hate
Like those
that.
stupid paranormal
I
activity
was
movies.
just thinking that. That movie's stupid.
I made it through. Paranormal Activity 3 was the worst one. I'll have to watch that one with you because it was really funny.
I
It
hate jump scares
No,
though.
but it's funny because they have a camera that's attached to a fan that's just panning back and forth.
We watched that. We watched that. I remember.
Something scary is going to happen when it pans back. Oh, I'm right.
Yeah, I remember that one.
So It Follows doesn't do that. There's one jump scare, but it's this accidental moment the two girls have, and it's actually okay. It's fine.
No, it had two. There was that one, and there was another one, because the one between the two girls, that didn't make me jump. But there was one earlier that did make me jump, but I don't remember what it was. Remember, there was one that made me jump.
In the kitchen? The rock coming through the window?
Oh, yes, that's what it was.
But that was just that shocking moment of and we're back.
Yes.
Like they're
but
having
I
this
remember
nice
there
moment.
actually being a
and
little jump scare.
There's a lot of nice moments between the characters in this movie. The only thing that distracts me is the older sister looks younger than the younger sister.
How do you know that she's supposed to be older?
Because girl being followed by whatever is in school, and it appears like it's high school.
See,
And when she runs away, to
me.
but when she runs away from school, her sister's working, so that's during school hours, which tells me she's probably the older sister.
I assumed that she was in university.
Maybe.
So they have cars and.
But then if you're,
it looked like a campus.
That's true.
Not a high school.
That's
you know,
true.
a high school's one building. It looked like a
That's true.
university campus.
That's true. The other nice thing in this movie, and I didn't see as many of them as I have other times, is there's scenes where people are talking and you will see an actor in the distance walking directly at the camera, and that's supposed to be the entity. And it is done very well, and it's done subtly, so you may miss it the first time, and you may miss it altogether, but it's there. So anytime an extra is walking directly at the camera, I assume that's the entity, and it's done really, really well. So that there may be no interaction between it and the girl that's chasing, she may not even realize that that's what's going on, and then they move on to the next scene, which may upset some of the younger crowd that want that big scare and that constant fight, and maybe they watch those horrible Species movies. Ugh. Well, Species is an alien comes down and has to have sex with men to reproduce. So Natasha Henstridge gets to run around naked most of the time, which, whatever. I didn't think that was such a big deal, but there are a lot of guys that did. So, okay, more power to you. But I ended up, by the end of Species, I was angry in the movie theater.
Yeah.
Because anytime a horror movie's in the theater, I try to go see it. I get all happy and giddy. Like Happy Death Day. I was giddy about
You
Happy Death
were
Day.
so excited to go see Happy Death
I was like,
Day.
yay, a horror movie.
Yeah, you were really excited.
Because they don't make Freddy's anymore. They don't make Elm Streets, Friday the 13th, Halloween's, none of them. And the last time they made a Halloween, it was Rob Zombie, and it was just awful. It was terrible.
I'm sure Rob Zombie, so.
So all of a sudden, Illinois is somewhere in the middle of the deep south. Everybody's an asshole. And, you know, they all curse and swear at each other, and you can't wait for everybody to die. You're like, what a horrible bunch of people. Suddenly, Michael Myers' mother's a stripper.
Well.
And played by Sherry Moon Zombie.
You need some strippers in a horror movie. It makes it better.
Does it have to be Sherry Moon Zombie? Does Rob Zombie have to give his wife a job in every movie?
Yes.
And that's why I love It Follows. Because there's none of that. It's a movie that's about stuff that happens to people.
A movie about stuff and people.
But, see, a horror movie shouldn't... To me, anyways, it should feel like a movie there's scary things going on in, not just scary things that are happening in something that just... It's kind of a movie.
Right.
Kind of.
Right.
And what gets me with a lot of horror movies, too, is when each scene is just to set up the next kill.
Right.
Where it's like, oh, how's this guy going to die? Oh, how's this person... Oh, look, it's another new character. How's this person going to die? The body count in It Follows is 2.
Yes.
And that includes a body at the very start of the movie.
Yeah.
And so it's 2. And it's I don't
spoiler alert.
It's creepy. It's creepy.
It is.
Yeah, but I didn't say which 2.
True enough.
I'm just saying 2. And it's open-ended that somebody could have jumped in and tried to do a sequel, but thankfully I haven't heard anything about that, and thankfully it hasn't happened. Because a sequel to this movie would ruin it. A sequel would be awful.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they haven't tried to do, like, you know, some of these crappy ones like Annabelle. Ugh. We got to go back and see how the doll was created. And I'm surprised they haven't tried to make a movie about how this entity was created. And they could put in some stupid thing like The Exorcist 2, where you find out that the name of the demon is Pazuzu. And then you're not scared of the Exorcist demon anymore. Its name is Pazuzu. You're not scared of Pazuzu, are you? I'm not. That's a Muppet. Pazuzu should be a Muppet. There are no Muppets in this movie. Can you imagine if she was being followed by Muppets?
That would be frightening, too.
If they were just evil Muppets?
That would be frightening.
Or those aliens that talk on the phone in Sesame Street? Bring, with the jaws that do that?
Oh, the woo woo.
Yeah.
Oh, what did they say? They used to say something.
I
I don't remember.
don't remember.
My kids
either.
never watched Sesame Street, so.
They were fun, though. I like those aliens.
Yes, I remember the aliens.
Although I had nightmares about them as a little kid.
Really?
Kind of. I had nightmares about... There was a show called 1-2-3 Contact that was for little kids.
Yeah, I remember that show.
And there was one of... there was this alien thing that kept appearing and disappearing in the house. And all it was doing was counting. I had nightmares about that thing for weeks. I was 3 years old. That terrified me. I'm like, the alien came in the house. It didn't go through the door. It didn't go through the window. How does it... And then it just disappears again. Oh, like, I couldn't sleep. Meanwhile, Mom's out in the kitchen doing dishes, whatever, and I'm in the living room. See, my love of horror movies, my affection for horror movies comes from the fact that I was such a coward as a child. So I kind of forced myself through it. And now I appreciate horror movies. I just don't like the gore fests.
No.
Although I do like Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2, and I've almost got her softened up on Evil Dead 2. It will be a review probably within the next 10 years. I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to stick to it. Gosh darn it. I'm going to make it happen within the next 10 years. So mark it on your calendar. 2028. Evil Dead 2. Yeah, what would you rate this out of 10?
Oh, I don't know.
Don't look at me. My
I
review,
know
my
you're gonna
number.
think it's just excellent. I don't know. Um, I know I give a lot of movies a 7, but
Yep.
thinking like a 6 or a 7.
A 6. So what
Yeah.
what was your flaw with it?
Uh,
Just her running up the stairs?
yeah, it's just stupid stereotypical horror movie stuff. Going up the stairs. Look, her in the pool. Is it still in there? Let me crawl over to the edge to look. I'm not gonna stand up and look from a safe distance.
I thought it was really
I'm gonna
funny.
crawl over
So
to the edge.
the entity's in the pool and Dippy Paul's like, "Is it still in there?" It dispelled it, like you can see it when it goes in the water, you can see a splash. So if it comes out of the water, you would see it.
You'd think.
You would see that the water's been moved if it
You'd
got
think
out.
so, yeah.
I just found that whole thing
But
kind of
she
weird.
crawled over to the edge.
Because you have to have that camera, the overhead shot, so you're terrified something will grab her, drag her into the water, and then.
Right. But I'm just sitting there thinking she's a moron. Wait, no, no!
But the fact that you care means you liked it. Because in a lot of horror movies, when they're doing that, you're like, man, come on, I just want Jason to kill this stupid person. When did Jason come in and axe this person? So that's where you and I are different watching. You know,
I see. That's what I was thinking.
I
That's
cheer for
what
Jason
you
sometimes.
think.
Sometimes I cheer for Jason.
I know you do.
I've always thought Jason's just misunderstood.
Right. I know.
That he's really a very loving man.
Yeah.
And he has a problem where he gestures with his machete. And people are within reach. So he's trying to help them, give them directions or whatever. And then the machete embeds itself in their forehead. And they die.
Right.
And then he feels bad after. So he goes off to tell somebody else about it. And he accidentally machetes them while he's trying to explain exactly
Right,
what
that's
happened.
how that works.
That'd be a good movie for me to make. Just throwing that out there. I really want to make a horror movie.
I know.
I think that would be fun. Do you think Scarlett Johansson would do it? What about Alexander? Alexander Daddario would do it, right? Both of them. Think both of them would do it? No? We could do a movie with the Deads. And then they could have the soundtrack. They could have the soundtrack for the whole movie. That'd be awesome.
That'd be really fun. Them doing a soundtrack to a movie. That would be fun.
See, there you go. All right. So she didn't like it, but I did. And that's kind of how it works, usually. But I think you like this more than A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, it wasn't as stupid.
And it's ahead of Jason Goes to Hell.
That was so dumb. That was so dumb. Oh my goodness.
So It Follows. If you haven't seen it, watch it. If you're not a horror movie aficionado, don't let that stop you. It's not really a traditional horror movie. It's a thriller more than anything else.
Yeah.
It is not gore-filled. It's not...
Not even close.
I don't think anybody even uses a knife in it. They just shoot at it because they're stupid.
Yeah.
It's the only part I don't understand. They shoot each other more than they shoot it.
That's true.
It's like, wow, you shot somebody else, you idiot. The thing I can't see,
because
where is
they're
it?
shooting at something they don't see.
I'm going to shoot at it with my
They're
pistol.
not noticing
Just
their
point
friends
it the
back
general direction where it is, and I'll shoot, even though my friends are in my line of sight. I'm not going to tell them to move out of the way. I'm just going to shoot at something I can't see, and then if I hit one of these poor girls, oh well.
Yeah.
Poor nerd girl. The other sister was prettier, though, wasn't she? I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm.
That's something I noticed.
I know. I'm aware.
Pay attention to that.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
She had those weird socks, though.
Those are fun socks.
So, yeah, but she's there with a bikini top and shorts, and then the socks all the way to her knees.
But her calves get really cold.
But that'd be the weirdest tan line ever. When you wear regular socks, you gotta be like, yeah, from my knee to my foot is white because, reasons.
Because I like to wear knee highs.
So weird.
Knee highs and my bikini.
So weird. Do you ever do that?
Wear knee highs and a bikini? That would be a really bad look. I have never worn a bikini and it's not going to happen.
Do you think I should?
I wear knee highs though.
Should I wear both? Can you make me knee highs? I'll go out and buy a bikini. And then this summer, video goodness happens. You want to see me go viral, baby? That'll do it. Now that you guys have that mental image seared into your brains, thank you for watching.
Pictures.
She wants me to do a boudoir calendar. No, it would not be publicly available to anybody. It would probably be for her and just for your best friend, because it would drive her like to drink. It'd be, what the hell? Why? No. Why? Ew. No.
No, I don't think she would have that opinion at all.
I think she'd have a hard time looking me in the eye after that.
Maybe that might be possible. But
and then I can send one to Venus.
She wouldn't be thinking ew.
Yeah, no. I can send one to Venus too.
There you go.
Yeah, that'll work.
I'm sure she'd think it was cute.
And then I could go to Vantage Foods and sneak into their lunchroom and tack one up in there.
Oh my gosh, that'd be so funny.
I could autograph it.
There you go.
Yeah. Signed. Where's some money?
Oh my gosh, that'd be so funny.
Yeah, it would be. All right. Thank you guys for watching. Hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. And hey, thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.